Well, guys, we are officially getting very, very close to the full release of Phase 2 because earlier today, version 10.4 of the SnowRunner public test server dropped, and in this video, we're going to be going over every single thing that was changed and updated, as well as a variety of things that were said by the developers. And if that is something you're interested in, make sure you stick around for the rest of the video. So as I'm sure you guys are aware, especially if you watched my live stream from earlier today, you'll know that the SnowRunner public test server is now on version 10.4. So what does this mean? Well, it actually means a massive amount of things, and I'm going to be going over all of them. And the biggest thing that I wanted to start with is some changes that have been made in the modding department. In particular, these changes include supported offline mode for mod browser in case mod.io is not available, and players can now play with mods that were downloaded locally. That's a huge deal, especially in terms of laying the groundwork for console mods, because what if you've downloaded some mods on console and your internet goes out, or there's, like a utilities outage in your area, and you're out of internet, you don't have a connection, but you had connection previously, and you downloaded a couple of mods on your console or your PC, and you want to play with them, but your internet is out. This allows you to do that, and it will also, like I said, extend to the consoles when the console mods come out a little bit later on. They also fixed a bug where directions of arrows on the popular today filter in the mod browser did not correspond with the directions of the popular filter on the actual mod.io website. So that's a little bit of an odd thing that I didn't even notice, but some people may have noticed that and may have been affected by that. And additionally, they made additional changes, which they don't really go in depth on what those changes actually were, but what the developers say is that they made additional changes to increase mod.io download speed, and what I've actually heard from several community members is that that is accurate. They have actually seen a large uptick in download speeds, even with slower internet connections, which is a very, very, very big deal, because if the mods are going to triple in size, like we talked about in the last update coverage video, it's going to be important to have that download speed, especially for those of you with slightly slower or slightly less reliable internet connections. And this is a big step towards that. And it's also another way that they've listened to the community very, very heavily. Now, before we move too far ahead, I do also want to highlight something that Asorican said, and he actually said, the feedback that you provide during this weekend is very crucial for us, since it's most likely the last PTS update for patch 10. Now, patch 10 being phase 2. So this is most likely version 10.4 of the PTS is most likely the last variant of the PTS that there will be before the Phase 2 update officially drops into your consoles and your PC. Now, just to clarify, Phase 2 does not mean console mods. Console mods are slated for a little bit after Phase 2. I'm gonna guess probably a few weeks or so. If that's the timeline that we end up following, then console mods may be happening like later in, I don't know, I'm not gonna call any like specific dates. Maybe late November. I can't say that, with any kind of like definite, opinion, but maybe late November, early December. I don't know on that one. We're gonna have to wait and see. But as far as the actual Phase 2 update that includes the Yukon region, the Yukon maps, the KRS Bandit, stuff like that, that should actually be dropping into the release build of the game probably in a week or so, like maybe a little bit more depending on how the testing period for version 10.4 actually goes. Now, jumping back into the PTS changes and updates for version 10.4, general fixes are they fixed a bug where the concrete blocks cargo was created instead of concrete slab cargo in the concrete production site in the Flooded Foothills map. That could be very frustrating, obviously, to craft the wrong cargo, but not necessarily by accident, but because the game was not letting you craft the right cargo, so that's a really welcome fix. Tweaked on the rock trigger zone in Big Salmon Peak. fixed a bug where a trailer could get stuck in the barrier after transitioning via gateway between Yukon maps. I never experienced that, but I also never really tried to travel between Yukon maps with large trailers. They also added additional sound effects for securing trailers to vehicles, which is really, really cool. Fixed a bug where secured vehicles were desynced between client and host after client transitioned back to host location via a gateway with a secured vehicle. Fixed a bug where the packed truck was automatically unpacked after going through the gate twice and moving the car on another map, which is a very weird one and a very oddly specific sequence of events, but nevertheless, it's a really welcome fix. Fixed a bug where Northern Bridge had no collisions during construction's animation in the Yukon. Now, they've also made some updates to the trucks themselves. Namely, they've added the maintenance frame add-on for the KRS Bandit, which is actually a really cool and welcome addition. I'm really, really happy about that. They reworked the honk sound for the ANK MK38, and it sounds like... And you know what? I gotta tell you, I like that horn a lot better than the last one, and it's actually kind of funny to me because that means that so many people said that they did not like the ANK's horn that they actually went in and changed it. Like, I didn't realize... I knew that a lot of people didn't like the original horn in the ANK, but I didn't know that that many people disliked it, that they were like, oh my god, we should actually probably go back in and change that. But either way, there's one more truck that they tweaked, and that was the Cat TH357, and they fixed a bug where the wheels moved when a player tilted the fork forwards or backwards. Odd little thing, but it's actually really interesting that they fixed that. And last but certainly not least, they had a few UI or user interface fixes, and those are fixed a bug where one of the options in steering wheel type selection was empty, fixed a bug where the mouse cursor was stuck in the top left of the screen when restarting a mission, and they also fixed a bug where the displayed cargo amount in any zone with framing did not update when another player changed it in a co-op session, which is an odd fix, but hey, I mean, those little tiny fixes are what go a really long way to improving the overall look, feel, immersion, and experience of the entire game as a whole. So, now that we're at this point in the video, I would like you guys to let me know in the comment section below, for one, if you are a PTS player, let me know if you've experienced any of those things before, and if you're happy that they fixed them, and if you are a console player or a PC player that chooses not to use the PTS, let me know your thoughts on all of these changes in the comment section down below. And dude, we're getting very, 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 very close now. If you do have the PTS, please do provide that feedback to the developers over the weekend, because the more we provide that feedback to the developers, the closer we get to a full release of Phase 2 on the live version of the game, which is a huge deal, and I know that I cannot wait for Phase 2 to go live. I can't wait for everybody, PC and console players, to get their hands on Phase 2, because, dude, I've got to tell you, it is absolutely the most exciting phase that we have seen in this game so far. And, dude, honestly, too, these maps, these Yukon maps, are my favorite maps that they've ever released into this game. I think they play the best. I think they have the most varied terrain. I think they have the most interesting terrain, and I think they have some amazing verticality as well. I think they are very well designed. I think the contracts are very interesting. They're long, they're challenging, but they play well both in single player and multiplayer. You can really get into some amazing adventures, build some amazing memories with your friends on these maps, and honestly, this game gets better and better and better and better as time goes on. And I know people like to say, well, the game would be better if it had this feature or this feature or this feature, but dude, again, this game just keeps getting better over and over and over, and like literally with every update they release. I mean, and sure, there are things that, you know, they release it, people test it, they go, I don't know, like the community goes, I don't know if I like this, and then they go back and they change it, and they adjust it. And that's what I love about the way these developers communicate with their community and the way they talk to their community, because let me tell you, compared to a lot of other games, these developers talk to their community way more than, like, so many other games out there, and potentially some of the most in any game that's out right now. I mean, the amount of communication that we get is wild, absolutely wild. So if you guys enjoyed that video, be sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to y'all later.